So this is who you've decided to watch hike the Appalachian Trail. That's me, Zach Blenkinsopp, aka Hollywood. That's also me, and well, that's also me. But I guess there's less entertaining people to watch. Let's talk about the Appalachian Trail in general. The Appalachian Trail is 2,200 miles. It runs up the eastern seaboard. It was established in 1937 from Amicalola Falls, or Springer Mountain, Georgia, to Mount Katahdin, Maine. All in all, it takes about 5 million fucking steps to finish, so it's long. So in this very first picture is the very first time I ever climbed a mountain. It was Mount Washington in New Hampshire, and when I got to the top, I said I was never going to climb another damn mountain again. But as you can see, I've decided that I like hiking, and I've hiked some volcanoes, some mountains, hiked all through Latin America, done some several-day backpacking trips. But to say that I'm an expert in hiking or backpacking, that's not really the case. But before we get into the Appalachian Trail, let's go back in time and learn a little bit more about our flawed hero here. There's young Zachary Joseph Blenkinsopp. Life was going just swell for him. He had 2 loving parents, a little sister, and lived in a middle-class neighborhood in North Alabama. Then Mommy found out Daddy had a baby with another mommy. And Mommy went and did a bunch of drugs, and Daddy moved to the other part of the United States with his new wife. But Zach was very fortunate that he had some loving grandparents, aunts and uncles, and friends' parents who helped raise him and made sure that he didn't end up dead in a ditch somewhere. And I would like to report as an adult, I have a great relationship with all my siblings and my sister's kids, my little nephews. I have a great relationship with my dad and my loving stepmother, and I'm proud to report my mother is off drugs. So I didn't end up dead in a ditch somewhere, but I didn't really live up to my potential in high school. I mean, look at that fucking hair. But then I got my act together. I joined the Navy at 19 years old, bought my first house at the age of 21. I got married, yes, I know, very young, to actually a really, really great girl. Then I was diagnosed with gout at the age of 23, which we'll get into here in a little bit. Deployed to Afghanistan in 2010, 2011, and ended my military service in 2012. Then finished my bachelor's degree and lived happily ever after. Actually, after 8 years of being together, her and I got a divorce. I was 27 years old, moved out to West Texas, started business with my buddy, but then it went bankrupt and I lost about $400,000. So I ended my 20s with a bang. Things turned around in my 30s. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad and The 4-Hour Workweek. Seriously, I cannot recommend these 2 books enough. Came back with a new business model, now own a successful construction company with my partner Chris McGuire. Check us out on YouTube at Digital Roofing Innovations. Then I got a dog, my pit bull Bogey. He's literally the best dog in the world. I don't care what anybody thinks. Set a world record for the longest throw of a golf club, the highest altitude golf shot. Been on TV, been on some radio, been on some podcasts, and got my big break when I got my Instagram and Facebook accounts verified. Whoop-de-doo. Then I met a really great girl named Luisa. Her and I actually met while we were both vacationing in Medellin, Colombia, and I'm happy to report we're living happily ever after. Just kidding, we broke up about 6 months ago, which has given me the time to go hike the Appalachian Trail in the first place. But nevertheless, I live the lifestyle that I've always wanted. I get the opportunity to travel the world. I manage my company remotely. I get to date beautiful women. And for the most part, I get to do what I want. Although I don't make a ton of money right now, the freedom is something that I've always wanted. However, the number one thing that I'm hoping to find on this trip is an overall sense of purpose, which is something I don't have right now. And one could make an argument that I'm a borderline sex addict, so not being around women all the time will probably be good for me. Now that you know my story, let's get started. Now we're actually going to start at Amicalola Falls, including the approach trail. The section in Georgia to North Carolina is 86.9 miles, and I'm starting the trip at 200 pounds. Good morning. I am starting my through hike of the Appalachian Trail today. Just got up, about to go catch my flight. I'm saying goodbye to my son here. This is Bogey, who's my almost 6-year-old pit bull. I mean, I've been together since he was just a little baby, and he goes everywhere with me, but he's not getting to go on the trail. Got some horrible news though. I suffer from gout, and one thing that I'm worried about on me not making it is me having some serious gout attacks and not allowing me to go off on the trail. And I'm not even on day 1 yet, and I'm having a gout attack right now, right here in my foot, right on this big ankle bone. And if you know someone that has gout, It's not all the same. I've got a very advanced diagnosis of gout. I've had it for 13 years now. It's affected my life in a lot of ways. I'll talk about it in some of the future vlogs. Hopefully there are some. But I woke up this morning, I can barely walk. So great start to the trip. So let's get started. Well, since I'm a 36-year-old father of 0, husband of 0, I gave my dog a kiss goodbye, headed to the airport for my adventure. Now, I flew into the Atlanta airport, which most people do if they're heading northbound or NOBO, going from Springer Mountain or Amicalola Falls to Mount Katahdin, Maine. You're going to go to the MARTA train station. You're going to purchase a ticket to go as far north as you can. I was getting off at the Sandy Springs exit, but it's a pretty easy ride and pretty easy to navigate, and it's located right there at the airport. All right, so I am on my way to Springer Mountain right now with my new buddy, James Whiteman. He's going to be doing a section hike here in a couple, well, actually next week, right?
Yeah, Thursday.
With his wife. He picked me up from the, what stop was that?
That was the Sandy Springs.
Sandy Springs stop off the MARTA train at the airport. But we're getting ready to go. We've actually been on the Facebook group, which is really, really cool. And he's a Navy vet, just like I am. So, booyah Navy. But anyway, thanks a lot to James for taking me to Springer Mountain. Well, here we go. We are at the approach trail here at Amicalola Falls. And here's my sign. Approach trail, Springer Mountain, Georgia, 8.5 miles. This is where we got to go. And then we start the AT officially, 2,190.9 miles. And here's the famous archways. And I was kind of thinking before, like I wanted to have some really cool saying that I'm going to do right when I walk through the arches. But I couldn't really think of anything. So, well, we're just going to start with, let's go. We are on top of the falls right now. I've already made me some new trail friends. We got Brandon here from Maine. And this is Eli. Say hi. Hi. So I have trail friends already. We all started about the same time at the approach trail. So we're going to do the approach trail today. It's obviously beautiful out here. We got lucky that the weather's really good, but I've heard it's not going to stay like that for the rest of the night. And it's really warm, so this will be on March 27th. It's actually really hot. Obviously, I'm not wearing a shirt, so tells you how warm it is. My gout is holding up okay. It is hurting me, but I'm just going to do about 8 to 10 miles today. Try not to kill myself, so hopefully I feel better tomorrow. Most people take months, if not years, to get ready for their thru hike of the Appalachian Trail. And if you don't know what a thru hike is, I'll kind of explain it to you. So a thru hike is when you hike from either Springer Mountain, Georgia to Mount Katahdin, Maine, or Mount Katahdin, Maine to Springer Mountain, Georgia, all the way through in 1 year. I think it's more if you just do it in one continuous movement, but people hike the Appalachian Trail in many different ways. Some people just do day hikes, some people do section hikes where they hike a state at a time, or they'll do from Georgia to North Carolina, or they'll do the 100-mile wilderness in Maine. But for me, there was only one choice, and that was to hike the entire fucking thing at once and do a real thru hike. Now, all that brashness and confidence doesn't mean shit till you get there and actually start hiking. There's a reason why over 2,000 people actually attempt this per year, only 10 to 20% actually make it through, because it's hard. All right, so we have made it to the beginning of Springer Mountain. We did the 8.5 approach trail today. So if anything else, we did the approach trail. And I don't know, I'm gonna hike a little bit more, but here's the famous, what am I trying to say? The famous plaque for Springer Mountain. And these two guys have already done thru hikes, and this crazy bastard's doing number 2. Something wrong with this dude. So these are the famous white blazes of the AT. I am off the approach trail and officially on the Appalachian Trail. So the approach trail was 8.5 miles. I was feeling a little good after the first day, and I'm gonna hike down to the next shelter, which is about 2.5 miles away, and set up camp. Kind of show you what I sleep in. So I take a bath with baby wipes every night after I hike. I started doing that when I was in the Navy, and it's just carried over when I've done hiking. I'm not a super experienced hiker. This is my first through hike, so I'm going to be learning with you guys some of the way. But with my camp clothes, all I do is sleep in these. I don't wear them when I'm hiking. Is just Under Armour heat gear shirt. I just got some little tight, like pajama cotton pants, and I go with no socks if humanly possible to let my feet air out. I'm really big about taking care of my feet. Gear that worked for me today and gear that didn't. First off, my Gossamer Gear Mariposa 60 is a awesome pack. I did 11.5 miles today. I'm fully loaded at about 30 pounds with my food and water. So base weight's probably around 18 to 20. And it felt like a cloud, so that pack rides really good. And my gaiter broke, so it'll still work, but the thing that straps underneath my foot broke today, so it was a gear failure on day one, but no big deal. I'll show you the camp setup whenever I do this tomorrow morning. I got in so late it was already dark, so I'll show you kind of how I got set up. And anyway, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow. Buenos dias. I'm not gonna give you guys a vlog every morning and every night before I go to bed, but I just wanted to show you a little bit more of my gear. It's about 8:30 a.m. right now. It's starting to warm up. I am not someone who likes to get up at 6 a.m. and start hiking. I prefer to hike into the evening and set up my tent, go to sleep, versus me waking up at 5 or 6 and starting my hike and stopping at 4. I like to sleep in a little bit more. The main reason I'm doing that this morning, I want to show you guys a little bit more of my gear, and I want to show you my campsite when I get up here in a second. So I use my Gossamer Gear Mariposa 60, which I talked about last night. I prop it up under my feet and I raise my feet up for about an hour when I get back, so I can get the blood running down, get out some of the swelling in your feet. It's got a little inflatable pillow. For my quilt, I have the Enlighten Equipment Revelation 20 degree, and this thing is awesome. It's light. It's really, really warm. And then for my pad, I have the Nemo Flyer mat. It's not the lightest. It's actually like 1.5 pounds, but it's really comfy, and I got the wide one. So this is what I got here that I sleep in, and I'll show you the rest of the setup here in a minute before I get started hiking. But okay, well, I was going to show you my campsite, but it's been a driving rainstorm, and obviously it's thundering if you can't hear that in the background. So I had to make up camp really quick. So day 2, now the fun really begins because we're in a storm all day. All right, this is the water that we're gonna be drinking from out of this stream. No, we do not buy all of our water, so I'm gonna show you how to make clean water. Okay, so the first thing we need is, I use smart water bottles. Some people use bladders, whatever, but I use smart water bottles because it fits on my Sawyer squeeze water filter. So what we're gonna do is we'll take the nozzles off both of these. I keep my clean drinking water with one of these tops. So we're gonna fill up the bottle. And we're gonna take this bottle and squeeze the clean water into it. So, you screw this on, hold it open, and you just squeeze. And that's it. Now we have clean drinking water. It's funny, just 4 months ago I climbed a volcano in Colombia. Granted, it was 17,100 something feet, but it was a 4-day trip. I can't remember, we ended up doing like 50 miles total, something like that. And we climbed from like 3,000 feet to 17,000 feet and back down. And it's crazy how far I've came as a hiker just since then. And I haven't really done any long trail hikes. I've just been hiking like 4 to 6 miles a day with the 50-pound pack, which is heavier than obviously I'm carrying. But I just felt really good. I just climbed close to probably 500 to 1,000 feet and didn't even stop. I'm not saying it wasn't hard, and as you can see, I'm sweating. But it feels good when you accomplish small goals like that. All right, good morning. I keep on forgetting to show you guys my tent setup, but I've already packed everything up and I remembered. But it's sort of day 3. I did about 13 miles yesterday. Again, pacing more than I thought I was going to. And it rained all day yesterday. I got down to 37 last night. We had a windstorm here that was pretty crazy. But it's supposed to be blue skies today, as you can see. But it's supposed to get down to 27 tonight. So all of my gear will be tested on how warm I stay. But we're gonna do probably around another 12 or 13 miles today. I'm gonna try to get to Blood Mountain Shelter. So I'll be climbing the famed Blood Mountain and coming down it, which sounds supposed to be even worse. So most people take months, if not years, to prepare to thru hike the Appalachian Trail. The reason is it takes a lot of preparation to leave your loved ones, your job, everything you know for 6 months to go walk in the woods. And for a lot of people, that's very, very difficult. I was very fortunate that my life was kind of already set up like that, and I have a good business partner that allowed me to have this opportunity. For so many people, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. They've had to do so much to get ready to leave. All the gear reviews, all the trying out gear, the training, getting your family ready to leave. I could imagine how hard it would be to tell your kids and your loved ones that you're willingly going to go walk in the woods for 6 months and stay away from them. Being a former military guy, I saw plenty of guys get ready to deploy, but it seemed like a little bit better reason to leave your family than just say, hey, I want to go walk away in the woods for 6 months with a bunch of strangers I don't know, and away from you guys, of course. Now, my story is a little bit different. I was actually living in Colombia in South America, and I was floating around in my pool one day, and I received a text message from one of my buddies asking me if I was interested in hiking the AT. I was, but I had not given it any consideration whatsoever, so I told him to give me a week, and after 5 days, I told him that I wanted to hike the AT. He then told me that he did not want to hike the AT and that he couldn't go, so I'd already mentally committed, and I gave myself a month to get to the AT and get hiking, including seeing my family, getting all my gear ready, this, that, and the other. So I have been on a crash course to hike the AT over the last month.
All right, so I told
up
you
until
guys
this
I wasn't
moment.
gonna just vlog the entire time, but today is perfect. It's like, I don't know, 50 to 60 degrees. I don't have surface, so I haven't had surface in the last couple of days. But like, this is the ultimate hiking day. So yesterday, we got rained on and cold all day long, and I was still able to put in 13 miles, but today's just absolutely gorgeous. Like, if the weather was like this every day, I think everyone would just through hike the AT. But nothing but smiles today from all the other hikers, and hopefully we're gonna get in enough to get through Blood Mountain today. Well, I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away. It's one of the advantages of hiking by yourself. All right, we got a big halfway fallen down tree here. So the question is, do I walk around it or do I walk under it? Fuck it. Let's just walk. If it's my time, it's my time. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Once hiking the Appalachian Trail in Georgia, the first real obstacle that you're going to face is Blood Mountain. Blood Mountain has a summit of about 4,500 feet, and it's the first real climb that you're going to have. Now, Blood Mountain is not easy, but if you've been training, it shouldn't be a problem. And in my opinion, it was much harder than even doing the approach trail, which a lot of people struggle with. But for me, I found Blood Mountain to be relatively easy, and the view from the top, absolutely spectacular. Now, while for me, hiking up Blood Mountain was not very difficult, coming back down was pretty difficult. My knees hurt like hell because I got, well, damn bad knees. But coming down Blood Mountain was difficult. Now, when you get down from Blood Mountain, you're officially in Nil Gap, which is the first major intersection that you're going to cross, and the spot where 30% of thru hikers decide to hang up their boots and quit. Now, it might seem absurd to think that someone would plan that long just to quit that quickly, but until you felt the roots and the rocks of North Georgia on the Appalachian Trail, you really, really wouldn't understand, and I promise you shouldn't judge.
Blood Mountain. And onward we go. We're at the famous Nil Gap. I made it. These are all the boots for the would-be heroes. Somehow I'm still here. All right, guys, I'm about a mile in to day number 4, and I'm not gonna lie, I am hurting today. Not going very fast. Fuck. My legs are smoked. I did, like I said, I did 16 miles yesterday, including Blood Mountain, and coming back off Blood Mountain. It was a tough run. So, trying to make it low gap. It's like 11 miles today. But today's the first day that it was a little rough. I didn't get started hiking until 12, so onward we go.
Hiking in North Georgia on the Appalachian Trail, or the AT as I'll refer to it as, it's very difficult. Georgia is arguably the 3rd or 4th most difficult state to hike in. Georgia is known as the Georgia roller coaster because you walk up every damn mountain in all of North Georgia. Now, for many people, they're expecting the Appalachian Trail to be a well-maintained footpath, but as you can see, it is not. It is rooty, it is rocky, it is wet, and it's tough. Your knees are gonna hurt, your back's gonna ache, your ankles are gonna be sore, your feet are gonna feel like they're on fire sometimes, but that's just part of hiking in North Georgia. So if you don't know what a white blaze is, well, this is a white blaze. A white blaze is a strip of paint on a tree or a rock that identifies the footpath that you're on the Appalachian Trail. Don't beat yourself up. I didn't know what it was either.
So, hey, what mountain are we on? Trail Rock?
Call Rock or something?
No, Crow Rock. I
Crow
think.
Rock, yes.
We are on Crow Rock right now. I'm here with the Trouble Troop.
One half of the Trouble Troop.
Well, one half of the Trouble Troop. We
Still
all
got 3 more.
hung out last night, and I want to tell you, this guy right here is the most fucking prepared guy on the Appalachian
I have an
Trail.
insatiable thirst for life.
What else?
The best gear by far.
The best gear.
My gear is on point.
How many flashlights do you have?
3, 4,
How
4
many have you
flashlights.
lost?
not a 1.
I guess you're the leader of the Trouble Troop, right?
I don't know.
blogger.
I think we're all,
He's
we
the
all have our
blogger.
fair share of
Okay.
leadership.
But he will be writing a book
That's
at
right.
the end of this,
And a subsequent documentary.
and a subsequent documentary. And I may or may not be part of it. Who knows?
Yep, you will be.
And-
And I'm starting a jerky conglomerate as well.
Called-
What's your beef?
What's your beef? I like Jerky Boys better
Yeah,
with the
Jerky
Z.
Boys with a Z though.
Yeah.
With a free prank call with every order.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get in really
So
good shape.
that's his plug for on my YouTube channel.
Yep.
Get that Jesus on the cross look.
All right, despite what you may think, the entire Appalachian Trail is not in the wilderness, although you do spend most of your time in the woods, but you do cross roads from time to time. I think this is my second road crossing today or the last couple of days. But again, today has been Zach on the struggle bus. I think I've been 7 miles, which is by far going to be my lowest day. I may stretch out and go to 11 today, but I definitely need a day to recover. So when I say recover, I'm not taking a day off. I'm just gonna do a couple of short mileage days. Oh, we're supposed to get some bad weather too.
It was only my 4th day, but I was already learning so much about the trail. A privy is a place you go take your shit. A cat hole is a place you go take your shit in the woods. A shelter is a 3-sided building that's normally put there by the government or by one of the local mountain clubs to protect you from the elements. And if you're not staying in a shelter and you're staying in a tent, you better make sure you put down your tent stakes because they're required for pretty much all the tents that you're going to use while hiking the AT.
Oh, well, welcome to the beginning of day 5. As you can hear, it's storming pretty bad out. Oh, let's see what it looks like. Well, it's about 8 o'clock a.m. Eventually I'm going to get up and hike today. But for now, I'm going to take it easy. Get some more rest.
Let me get some miles in here in a bit. Try to do a visual inspection of my body every day. It looks like I got me some poison ivy or one of the poisons going on here. I think I got on my back too. Like most states up the East Coast, Georgia's not known for having great weather. So days like today, it's gonna rain, and it's gonna rain hard. But if you're gonna complete the state of Georgia, you have to deal with the elements of Georgia. And sometimes that means sacking up and hiking when the weather's not great. And you keep hiking because you never know what's going to be around the corner. Around this corner, there was clouds that was just eye level all along the ridge line. It was absolutely spectacular, and a reason why, even on bad days, you're going to see great things.
There's a wolf right there. There he goes. Oh, shit. Honestly, almost every day it's really your attitude. It's cold today, it's wet. I mean, my shoes have been soaked for the entire day, if you can't tell. And I'm just loving today. Today is waterfall day. This is about the fifth waterfall that I've came through. Obviously don't even care that my shoes are wet anymore. I mean, it's just, it's a pretty amazing day, even if it is really wet and cold. All right, so we are at Blue Mountain Shelter. This is all my new friends I've met today. They've been hanging out and kicking it at the shelter for a day now. And I'm the new dude that showed up. We got the ladies over here.
Hello.
And the guys were hanging out.
What's up?
They're cooking food and I'm eating my cold food. Like it's so delicious. Did you get a stove?
I have one, but I'm eating later.
Okay. So this is what it looks like on the trail during a rainstorm. All right, this is my last video of the day. It's already gotten down to about 40 degrees, and I'm staying in the tent behind me, by the shelter. We're expecting it to be down to 28 tonight and winds of 35 miles per hour. So the next 24 hours of my life is going to suck. My boots are absolutely frozen solid. Look at my shoelaces. Oh my God. Frozen solid.
And I was right. The next 24 hours fucking sucked. It took 4 hours to unthaw my boots. My phone went dead, and I went through a windstorm that night where the wind chill got down in the teens. But I descended and made it to town. All right, so I have made it a week on the trail, and tonight is my first day hiking into a town. I took a shuttle, and as you can see, my beard is a little wild at the moment. And let's see, I got a pretty nasty thing of poison sumac going right here. I also have it right here on my arm, and then I got some more on my back. Oh, wrong side. Over here somewhere. Outside of that, I just have some, scrapes and cuts. Normal stuff. Trekking out in the woods, but hold on, let me get the focus in right here. But overall, I think I've lost 5 pounds. I'm not trying to lose a whole lot of weight out there, but doing pretty good. My first shower in 7 days.
Well, here we go. First hot food I've had in a week. All you can eat. This is a steakhouse, but we got fish, coleslaw, and cottage cheese. Woo-wee! All right, we back on the trail. Just spent last night in Hiawassee. It's North Georgia, so if you've seen Deliverance, you know what it's like. But luckily I didn't get raped and I didn't have to squeal like a pig. Just kidding, Hiawassee was pretty neat, and had somebody pick me up while I was hitchhiking to bring me back on the trail. But after a day of town food, recharged, got some gear, gonna do a rain jacket, get some food, and now today we are planning on making it to the Georgia-North Carolina border to knock the first state out. Woo! As I'm walking my last few miles of the Georgia roller coaster, I can't help but think about how incomprehensibly small we are. To put things in perspective, I walked almost 8 days to try to do 86.9 miles of 2,200 miles of the Appalachian Trail, or 5 million steps. If I wanted to walk the circumference of the planet, it would be 25,000 miles, or 66 million steps. Georgia is not easy. It's full of roots and rocks and hills and mountains, and it will test you. I met some really great people on and off the trail in Georgia. The weather was unpredictable, but at the end of the day, I felt like Georgia prepared me for the difficult path that lies ahead. Oh my God. The North Carolina-Georgia border. It's just been so hard. Just kidding, baby. One state down, a bunch more to go.